Hey, what's already? Welcome back to News Dose. We have a big week to look forward to next week with the Summer Game Fest. There's the Xbox Summer Showcase, and what I'm personally most excited about being the Nintendo Switch 2 launch. It's finally going to be here, just good times ahead, or at least hopefully. But to end this week, we do have some more next-generation news for Xbox to talk about. I mean, everything seems to be leaking out by this point, though this specifically I haven't seen a lot of people talk about. Xbox allegedly has a third next-generation platform that they're focusing on, so we're going to get into all of that today. First, though, I do want to thank my supporters on Patreon and on YouTube memberships. Thank you just so much for what you do, and you will receive this video through early access. Let's go and get right into things, though, starting off with the hot new game entering the weekend, being Elden Ring Nightreign. As expected, it's absolutely exploded onto the scene with 2 million units sold within just its first 24 hours. Now, it's also eclipsed 300,000 concurrent players on Steam, but even with all of that, its reception has been mixed at best. It currently has a 66% approval rate on Steam, a far shot from the previous game, which has a 92%, and this seems to be for various different reasons. There's been a lot of conversation about asset flips, and not only is it not balanced for solo players, but you also can't play with just one single friend. It's either solo or it's 3. There's no splitting the difference, and I mean, that is a very strange decision. I don't really understand the reasoning behind that, and I really hope that they change that in the future. Thankfully, though, FromSoft seems to be aware of its balancing issues. They've already announced its first update, 1.02, which at the very least will help solo players. The new update will include Revival Upon Death, which allows a revival once per night boss battle. Now, they haven't given a release date just yet, but they did confirm that more details will come next week. Let me know what you all think, though. Have you been playing this game? And if so, how are you liking it? Personally, for me, even though Elden Ring is one of my favorite games ever made, I'm currently putting it on hold until it gets a few updates because I was kind of expecting some of these problems that we're currently seeing. Now, speaking of success, though, let's go and talk about Expedition 33. This game has been blowing everybody away, and truthfully, for a very good reason. If you haven't already played it, please go do so. Even if turn-based JRPGs aren't your thing, its story alone could be worth it for anybody who appreciates well-told stories with good characters. Regardless, though, its word of mouth has now carried it to 3.3 million units sold. Now, do keep in mind that that's sold. That's not just players, it is sold, which is very important in this case because this is a Game Pass title. So it very well likely has a few more million players from Game Pass, which, yeah, makes this news even more impressive. For that matter, when you think about it, it's a game that's somewhat putting the industry to shame. I mean, here you have a $50 AA turn-based RPG, a genre that's often shunned by AAA publishers, mind you, a game that's also in Game Pass, yet here we are, and it's outperforming a lot of those $70 AAA games that has a ton of advertising behind them. So just kudos to them and also to fans of this genre. This very well could end up being a timeless classic. But here's the thing. Sandfall Interactive isn't just resting on their laurels. They already confirmed that they already have some great ideas for their next game, and I mean, I'll tell you this much right now, you can count me in as excited to see what they come up with next. All right, moving on, we also got an update for a couple of Switch 2 games, the first of which is for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It will receive a free upgrade. I mean, I guess the joke was kind of true that the Switch 2 was going to be its performance fix because that's exactly what's happening here. It's probably why they're not going to charge for this one. There would have been a lot of backlash if they would have done that, but they elaborated on what this upgrade actually includes. They revealed this on the Nintendo Japan website, where they said you can now see Pokemon from further away, making them look even more vivid. With improved frame rates and other features, the movement is smoother, allowing you to enjoy your adventure comfortably, so be sure to update and experience the world of Pokemon on the Nintendo Switch 2 before anyone else. So we already kind of knew about its improved frame rate, though they're still not being too specific about it. I don't like that. But whatever the case may be, this is the first time that we've heard about its improved draw distance. And I will say, I hope we see a significant improvement. For as much criticism as Pokemon Scarlet and Violet has received for its, quite frankly, embarrassing performance, there is still a good game buried underneath. And that's why there's still a lot of people that are willing to overlook its technical issues. It's a fun game. So hopefully this will finally be the fix that we all wanted, 2 years ago. And for me, I am a big Pokemon fan, so I'm definitely going to try it out again myself. Now, as for the other Switch 2 game, this very well might quietly be one of the most exciting Switch 2 launch titles, and I'm talking about Fast Fusion. I believe this is the third entry in the series, correct me if I'm wrong about that, and they always seem to launch a new entry alongside a new Nintendo console. So here we are once again, and they finally dropped a new gameplay trailer. I mean, as you can see, it looks good. If you like games like F-Zero, and if you're just sick of Nintendo sitting on the IP for whatever reason, this series has helped keep the genre alive. It is one of the better anti-gravity racing franchises that you can play. They're also excellent looking games from a visual perspective, and the thing about this game specifically is that it's only $15. I mean, that's one of the most controversial topics for the Switch 2. It's game prices. A lot of people are very upset about things like Mario Kart World costing $80. Yet here we have a budget-friendly option and a very attractive one at that. So if you get the Switch 2 next week, don't sleep on Fast Fusion. It very well could end up being one of the better and more affordable launch titles. Okay, so let's go and talk about Xbox and their next generation plan. This has been a major topic all year long, and we've talked a lot about it. But this is the first that I've heard about this information. So we already know about their next generation PC hybrid console. That's the word on the street. It's going to be an ultra powerful machine with a Windows slant to it. And because it has Windows, it's also going to be able to sideload PC storefronts like Steam. And, that's big if true. I mean, technically, it would be the most compatible, quote-unquote, console on the market. Now, we also know about their handheld. Recent news claims that it's currently on hold, but it is still within their plans. It's just kind of delayed because they want to prioritize third-party PC handhelds first, which, okay, that's fine. Maybe that will help them in the long run. There, however, apparently is a third next-generation platform, and this is for their cloud service. This was leaked by Jez Corden over on Windows Central. He said Microsoft is working on next-gen Xbox cloud systems, which are now in testing at Microsoft's headquarters in Redmond. The new cloud platform should bring its latency closer to parity with NVIDIA's GeForce Now service, which is arguably the performance leader right now and still integrates Microsoft's Xbox PC Game Pass. NVIDIA GeForce Now just launched a native app for the Steam Deck as well, presenting another competitor to Microsoft's cloud gaming strategy. Microsoft was previously working on a cloud-first mini console dubbed Hobart, which was also canceled. And that is something to keep in mind when we talk about this topic. It's not completely clear if he's referring to a console-like system. He calls it both a platform and a system. So on one hand, it could be a cloud-based handheld, as one such example, or he could also be talking about the service itself as a platform. Either which way, though, it sounds like it'll be a significant upgrade compared to what they currently offer, and it could even possibly take advantage of their next generation console. And for that matter, I've said something similar about PC gaming handhelds and just the handheld market in general. I think that's going to be a big part of the future, but I also think that we're going to see increased competition in the cloud space over the next 5 years. It's not just Xbox that's showing signs of interest for cloud gaming, but also PlayStation. If you remember right, they upgraded their cloud service last year. They even launched it for the PlayStation Portal, which means technically you don't even have to buy a PS5 to play PS5 games. You can just buy the Portal and their subscription service and play some of their PlayStation 5 library. For the time being, though, GeForce Now is a shining example as to why other companies are investing even more into these cloud-based services. NVIDIA is really proving that cloud gaming can be worth it for fans And services like it can very much carve out a space within the industry if done right. Now, I don't think it's going to replace local hardware anytime soon, but it is still a nice option to have, especially for fans on mobile devices, whether that be on phones or on one of the many PC gaming handhelds that are floating around. That's why NVIDIA GeForce Now launching for the Steam Deck is big news. That's why last year, whenever PlayStation launched their cloud-based service on the Portal, that was big news. So we'll see what Xbox can pull off with their quote-unquote next-generation cloud platform. I mean, after all, Microsoft is one of the biggest cloud-based companies in the world, so, they have plenty of expertise to lean on to better compete. That's something that's always kind of surprised me because I would describe their current cloud offering as somewhat underwhelming, but maybe that'll soon change here in the coming years. Let me know what you all think about this, though. Do you have interest in cloud gaming at all? I know it's definitely not going to be something for everybody, so let me know what you think about this in the comments below, or is it just a hard pass for you? Anyways, though, that's going to be this episode, but until next time, make sure to subscribe, ring that bell, and peace out.